guys.
Welcome.
Happy Sunday.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us, and we apologize for the lateness. We had some
malfunction.
A wardrobe malfunction.
It happens in television or whatever. So I guess.
Yeah, but we are here, and thank God so much. It's another
Sunday. Welcome everybody. Kiyoba, what are you saying over there? Anyway, Kiyoba has his own age.
Yeah, so welcome. My name is Yasmin, and I'm here with the Duchess herself.
Lashes Levielle. Welcome everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us once again. It's another Sunday.
Yeah.
Happy Sunday to everybody. We hope you had like a really good week. And even if you didn't have a good week, you made it to the end of the week. So let's all be thankful and be grateful for the gift of life and energy and strength, and for our families and friends and for our support system. So thank you everybody for joining us today, and we're about to have like a great show, a great discussion, and
as usual.
Yes, and we encourage everybody to leave their submissions, their thoughts, their suggestions, opinions in the comment section, and we'll be reading them out as usual. So thank you again for joining us, and thank you that you are going to make this show an enjoyable one today. So it's gonna be fun. Join us. Welcome Mandela, welcome Dominic. Thank you for joining us, and welcome to Yasmin's social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Thank you all for joining us once again.
So what are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today? Should I introduce okay, go ahead.
Okay. We are talking about peace in relationships. So most of the times we hear men say, all I want from a woman is peace. All I need from a woman is peace. I don't want anything from a woman, just peace. So we are asking today the men, what do you call a peaceful relationship?
Or a peaceful
How
woman?
would you describe a peaceful woman? What makes a woman peaceful in your world? When you say all you want from a woman is peace, what does that constitute? What exactly do you mean by that? So that's what we are talking about today. And before we get started, there's this therapist on Instagram, Therapist Jeff, that said something, and I want us to take it into consideration, and I think that will help with our analysis today. So he said, are you needy, or are your needs not being met? Are you clingy, or is your partner making you feel insecure? Are you too sensitive, or is your emotional experience not being met? Are you possessive, or is your partner too detached? Are you crazy, or are you being gaslit? Are you too demanding, or your standards are not being respected? Are you asking too much, or is too little being offered to you? Are you paranoid, or it's your trust issues that's not being addressed properly? Do you crave too much reassurance, or you are not receiving too much love? Are you dramatic, or you are with someone who cannot communicate their feelings? Are you too sensitive, or your emotional experiences are not being validated, right? Do you crave, and the last one is, are you selfish, or your boundaries are consistently being crossed? So when we describe somebody as not being a peaceful partner, what makes them not peaceful? Are they needy because their needs are not being met? Are they possessive because they are not getting the reassurance? Are they selfish, or it's just people not respecting their boundaries? Are they like he puts it, are they like crazy, or they are being gaslit? Because if somebody gaslights you, obviously you will react and you defend yourself. And these are the things we are talking about today. And like, what's your definition of peace? Is peaceful being quiet, sanctimonious, like, oh, I don't talk, I don't ask questions. When I'm hurt, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to confront people that hate me. Is this the definition of peace and a peaceful partner? So guys, that's what we are talking about today. So that's what we are talking about today with the peace and your peaceful partner, what you call a peaceful partner. But please give me a moment. I think the Facebook.
Yeah, so in that instance, like, thank you for reading that. It's like really, really good points, because I find like in a lot of relationships that men complain that, oh, this woman is not peaceful. She's doing this to me and she's doing that to me and she's not letting me rest. She's always arguing. Sometimes it's because these women's needs aren't being met and they probably communicated, or probably they don't always have the best communication skills, but they still communicate it in some way. And I feel like after a while of communicating your needs and it's not being met, you get frustrated. Then you're a human being. We default to our they call it our animal instinct sometimes. And that's where, like, maybe they probably will get aggressive. I'm not saying it's the right thing, but like, it's not because they don't want to be peaceful, or they just want to be like argumentative or aggressive towards you. But sometimes it's because their needs are not being met, boundaries are being crossed, like you are not emotionally available to them, and so like they are human beings. They'll probably push to get that, and yeah, it will come off as, oh, this person is just like, oh, argumentative and always wants like confrontation and conflict and all that. So like, I feel like it's a good way to assess your relationship and see if it is really a problem of peace, or it's you not like being the partner that you're supposed to be in the relationship. So you were saying something before, like I took over.
Yes. So those who just joined, and our Facebook, like my Facebook had issues, so it just started. So let me welcome everybody on that Facebook. Happy Sunday once again. We are talking about peace. What makes a partner, what makes a relationship a peaceful one? Is a peaceful relationship one without conflict? That's what we are talking about. Because to a lot of people, once there's conflict, then the relationship is not peaceful. Or once their partner confronts them, then they immediately categorize them as being dramatic or not being peaceful. So that's what we are talking about today. And the men, when you say you want a peaceful woman, or all you need from a woman is peace, what exactly do you mean?
Somebody has submitted something, and I want to welcome anyone that's just joining us on my Facebook right now. Thank you for coming. Our topic is, what does peace mean to a man? Because we hear a lot of men saying, I just want peace, I just want peace, and this woman is not giving me peace. That's why I don't stay at home, or that's why I'm not being loving enough, or being like who I'm supposed to be in the relationship. So Dominic says peace means understanding things logically and not jumping to conclusions that lead to unnecessary arguments. But my question is, are you explaining this to your partner, making her understand that, oh, like sometimes we have to logically look at things, or you're just expecting them to know? Because sometimes people do not know, because we come from different backgrounds, we interpret things differently. Like one thing that you might think it's this and everybody should see it that way, the other person may not see it that way because of where they are coming from. Even the language, the wording of the way we like certain issues may not be interpreted the same way we interpret it in our heads. And so sometimes you have to actually sit down with your partner and talk through things. Okay, when this happens, this is what we do. Or when I say this, this is what it means. Maybe you're taking it the wrong way, but to expect that the person will just read your mind and understand it the way you do, that's when all these conflicts come in, and then you end up saying the person is not peaceful. No, the person just doesn't understand your point of view, the way you want to put it, the way you want them to understand it. So yes.
And I was listening to this Nigerian pastor, is it Okonkwo? I forgot his name. Like he's really good with relationship talks.
Kingsley Okonkwo.
Yes. Yeah. So he was saying that one major problem couples face is bad communication. They don't know how to confront their partner. So like if your partner does something to hurt you, and address the issue or confront the issue and not your partner. So like if they said something that made you feel some type of way, instead of saying, oh, you hurt me by saying this, or you hurt me by doing this, you can say, I feel this type of way when this happens. Right?
I make it your feelings.
Like this is
that's how you feel about it.
When this happens, instead of like just jumping on the person and saying like you do this, you hurt me,
just
and
not
all
understanding.
that. And this is what he said, that men run away from confrontation and like communication when there's conflict. Women want to talk, they want to like vent and all that. So if a woman is hurt and wants to confront her partner, know how to go about it. And he said, don't say we need to talk, because that statement is like scares
creates
men.
fear. Yes.
Like just find a nice way and bring up the issue. Like, well, I feel this kind of way because of what happened and all that, and not like attack him directly, because what he said is that when you do that, like men tend to shy away.
I think even for everybody, I feel like no human being wants to be like made to feel like, oh, I did something wrong, right? Or you're criticizing me, or this flaw that I've been trying to hide, now it's exposed to you and you're trying to expose me. And so sometimes our wedding with how we approach conflict would make a difference in how a man or a woman reacts. And like I'm also telling the men, like, when a woman is coming to you with something, your first thought shouldn't be, oh, you are just nagging, or she just doesn't want. No, you need to listen. There's something called active listening. Sometimes we listen and we filter things through our trauma, through our past relationship, because somebody said this some other time and they reacted this way, or they did this thing. The next person that says that thing, we automatically default to that feeling that we felt when that thing happened in the past. And it may not be like that. So like actively listening. If somebody says something to you and you didn't get it, or you are getting a different interpretation, repeat it. Oh, you said this and this and this. Maybe because sometimes we hear things and we hear it differently. And because we hear it differently, we react differently towards it. And now we are thinking, oh, this person doesn't just want me to have like peace. They don't want to have my peace of mind. Like, and for a lot of women, because we've had the chance to express our emotions, right? When something is bothering us, we just want to talk to it. We just want that feeling that we are feeling to go away. But men did not have the chance to express those emotions, so they keep it in. It does not mean they are not feeling the same way. Their approach is that different. And so, like, I feel like men should also get to a point where they actually want to listen to their partners. Like, let me understand you. Let me understand why you've been reacting this way, or you act this way in this situation. This is not a competition. This is not somebody win or lose. This is a win-win for us. Like, it's us together. It's a partnership. And both of us should be winning all the time. And not, oh, one pitching against the other. Let's see who is badder. Let's see who is more argumentative. Let's see who will win this argument. It shouldn't be about that. It should be, I want to understand you so we can resolve this, so that it doesn't happen. Even if it happens, it will happen in a more controlled and manageable way. So Silas from my Facebook also gave a submission. He says, peace is really important in a relationship, but it can be developed and sustained when there is massive respect to each other's feelings, hurtful moments, for an instance, and not overriding each other's situations. I totally agree. Like, and for people that usually talk about not having peace, they are the ones that are causing the drama in the relationship. For real, like, you come to find out they are the drama. They are the ones that don't have the peace, but they're asking for somebody to be their peace. You first have to be at peace with yourself before you even ask for peace from somebody. Because, like, if somebody is triggering you, it is something within you. They are not the cause of the issue. They are not the root cause. So if somebody is doing something, is making you feel some way, you should ask yourself, why is it making me feel this way? Why is this particular thing making me feel this way? Maybe there are some unresolved wounds. There are some wounds that you've not processed. There's still a bit of healing to be done in that aspect that's triggering you. And it's not the person. It's not because the person is not peaceful. The person is just rubbing things that you still need to work on. Like, that's what I think.
Yeah, and talking about peace and like addressing issues, right? I feel most of the time when people bring up issues, they are not bringing it up to look for a resolution, right? So when they are talking about the things you've done that hurt them, within that same conversation, we should also talk about how we won't let this happen again.
Or if it does,
how are we going to work through it? But most of the time, it's just like they are just attacking you and letting you know, or coming to condemn you.
Yeah.
And at that point, you would also feel hurt. Yeah. Even though what you did might have hurt them, you also end up feeling hurt. So the best thing I think to do is to listen to the other person that's hurt. Listen to understand, not listen to come back at them with like a greater force, like a bigger punchline, you know. But if you listen, like, ladies, we want to talk about it, we want to vent. So as the man, if you are listening and you still make her feel loved, like even though you are hurt, just know that I love you, and then we would find a solution to this. This will help. Or if the lady is also confronting the man, or let him also feel like loved and respected as well. So don't like attack him in such a way that he will feel disrespected. Like, and then he also talk about this, that both of you should sit down and agree on certain words that will not be acceptable when there's issue, when there's anger, when there's confrontation. Certain hurtful words should not come out of each other's mouth, right? Like, these are things that we need to talk about. Because I feel like when we meet each other in the lovey-dovey chemical stage, all these are things most people don't talk about. Like, when you are angry, what do? How do we resolve conflicts? When there's a situation, when there's a misunderstanding, how do you think, like, we have to talk about these? So these are all things that we need to discuss with our partners, and I think that will...
Yeah, I'm very glad that you mentioned that, like, in the stage where you are getting to know somebody and we are excited and we forget to ask these questions. And that is why I say, like, if you tell me you love me, I do not believe you until we've been through something, even in the talking stage. Like, maybe I annoyed you and we went through it. I annoyed you. How did you react to it? I'm watching and I'm observing those things. Like, because, like, these are the things that will be happening in a normal relationship, and even when you get to live together, it becomes bigger. It becomes bigger issues that you need to work through. So, like, one thing, like, if you tell me you love me and we've not been through anything where you had to be patient and kind with me and not hold a grudge against me for something I had done earlier, I don't believe you. You are lying to me, because we've not had the time to go through those situations, right? And it is in going through those situations that you can actually have those conversations on it. Maybe you do something, I do not like it, or it made me angry, and I come to you and I'll be like, oh, Kwesi, this thing that you did to me, this is how it made me feel. I am watching the response that I'm going to get. Am I going to get my feelings validated? Are you going to also reflect and see what you may have done to bring us to that point, and what will be the resolution? Okay, I realize that when I do things this way, this is what it triggers in you, or it's a trigger point for you. So I will try to find another way to say those same things, but in a way that it doesn't trigger you, or it doesn't make you feel a certain way, or it doesn't make you feel like, oh, maybe I'm disrespecting you, or I don't love you enough, or I don't care about you enough. So, like, I'm glad that you raised that point. And we want to still welcome everybody that has joined us. I see Victor Opoku, thank you for joining us. Kofi Heineken, hello. Ohinia Frani, thank you for being here. George Fuji, thank you for being here. And do you want to read
Okay, Prosper Frimpong says, scary. Thanks. One day when I get a girlfriend, I'll do that.
Very important.
And thank you, Instagram. Idiara Raman. I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce your name well. Olufemi. Who is this miss? Nicholas Bonsu, DJ Tress. We see all of you. We are talking about relationships, peaceful relationships. Is a peaceful relationship one without conflict? And we've spoken at length already that there's conflict bound to happen as human beings. You all come from different backgrounds. You all have different upbringing. There will always be issues. One person will step on the other person's toes. But the task now is, how are you handling this? When your partner hurts you, how do you talk about it? How do you confront the issue and not your partner? And that's one thing.
Can you please repeat that? Repeat it.
So when your partner hurts you and you are angry at each other, confront the issue and not your partner.
That's a really great point. I feel like every married person, everybody in a relationship should make a big banner of that, put it in their house, so that every time. No, and I always talk about my brother, like, and at the time that they were dating, and his wife now, they had rules of engagements for, like, when they have arguments, like, it's pasted on the wall. If you break on any of those rules, you have to pay a fine. So I think you don't want to pay a fine, so you'll be more conscious. And I'm very glad that you also mentioned, like, the words that you use. And I think I listened to this same conversation at the time when I was in a relationship. I started using it, like, at a point where it was getting heated. I'll be like, I forgot the words that we use. We like reset, reset, and then everybody just hash, let's go back and come back to this. Because sometimes, like, you end up saying things that you shouldn't be saying, not because you don't mean them. Because I feel like most of the times when you're angry, it is the things that you really, really, really mean that comes out of your mouth.
Of course, like.
So people should stop saying that, oh, I said it and I didn't mean it. No, it's been in your heart for a long time. You've brooded over it. You've processed it. You thought about it. You've sank in it. You've sat in it. And you've eaten your fried rice and jollof with it. And so when you got angry, it came out.
No, I feel most of the time, like, people harbor hurt in their hearts.
Resentment.
Right? Resentment, bitterness. There's this lady I love so much on TikTok, Phone Me. So she's with her husband, they have 2 boys. And she said one day, like, she was doing so much at home. Cleaning the house, cooking and all that. The husband is an attorney. I think he was also resting because it's weekend, right? So he didn't come in to help. And instead of her to ask him to help, she was mad, she was angry, and she had everything in her. And like, she started to react to him in a certain way that was coming out as being disrespectful. So she later sat down and spoke to him. So she said the man came to her and said, I realized, like, there's a change in your mood. Like, is there any problem? And she, like, honestly spoke about it, that you've not given me any hand today. Help. I'm the one doing everything around this house. And then, like, the man apologized and offered her some help. And then they moved on. So what she was saying was that when you have a problem or when you are feeling hurt, communicate it, right? That's one major thing. So if you don't communicate, you keep it in you, you sleep over it, the next day, something else happens, you top up. So like some people just, you know, some people just keep topping up, waiting for the right time. And there might not be the right time.
There's never a right time. I don't think there's a thing like a right time.
The only time that you will explode is when it will now turn into a
bigger issue,
arguments, big conflicts, and that's when now people are using mean words on each other because you have so much pain in your heart, resentment, you know. So like, and then also during this confrontation, as we said, listen to understand, still make the person feel loved, respected, confront the issues, not attack them. Like, I think that some of the words that we choose during the conversation can make it also worse, right? If I've done something, or if you've done something and I'm hurt, and I come to you and I start to attack you, then now you are hurt, I'm hurt, nobody is willing to like compromise, nobody is willing to work on it, and that escalates everything and there's more confusion.
And like I always say here, I always say, like, when things happen or when we're talking about a certain topic, I like to go down to the root of the issue. Like, why is this becoming an issue now? And I'll go back to the one episode we did on mental health, and you said something. You said men are humans before they are men. Yes, society has socialized them not to express their emotions, not effectively communicate guilt and shame. And this is what I got from one of the podcasts that I was watching this week, and the man did touch on, like, peace, having peace in themselves as men, because, and the issues that he said, it comes from not being able to communicate what men are really feeling on the inside, because that's how society has socialized them. For women, I meet my friends, I probably call my female friends all the time. I'm talking, hey, and this person did this to me. And can you imagine this boy and at work and this. Like, we are able to vent, we are able to bring up, but men usually don't have those outlets. I feel like, well, now things are changing with the influx of, like, all these, like, therapy and life coaches and people talking about mental health all the time. I think it's changing little by little, but, like, there are still some people that won't allow themselves to be vulnerable enough to have friends where they can, you know, vent and actually talk about their guilt and shame about some issues. Like, for you, sometimes I come to you, I'm like, oh, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like really guilty about this particular situation, or I feel shame for this particular situation, or I'm scared, or I'm anxious, right? That gives me an outlet to actually help me process the things that are going through in my head. But for men, they didn't have that. And so, like, when they get into a relationship, it becomes difficult to still be open with the issues that may be bothering them. And so when you are not able to vent and talk about what's really going, it builds resentment. And it is that resentment that become trigger points for us, like in relationships. Because
exactly.
Right? They've done something that's like you think that they are annoying you right now. You don't want to deal with them. Then now they keep doing stuff. Like one day you just explain, be like, oh, those are the instances where the men will be like, okay, I'd rather stay away from home.
Yeah.
That does not solve anything. The issue will still be there till Jesus comes. So the thing in relationships is allowing yourself. You are a man, and because you're a man does not mean that you are not a human being. You are a human being first before you are a man. And so allow yourself to be able to confront issues and tell things, oh, honey, like you don't have to be harsh about it or like be critical about it. But like sometimes I feel like I always say like the mood, the environments where you're even having those type of conversations matters. Like when everything is calm, or you could even take the person out, oh, let's go out and eat. Then at the table, it's in, it's calm, it's nice. Now you bring it up. Oh, this thing that happened the other day, this is how I felt about it. This is how it made me feel. Then the person knows. Because some people, unless you do not know that maybe something they did or did not do, and it's sin of omission or commission. Either something they did or they did not do may be affecting you in like a negative way, and they don't know. And so they'll keep doing it. They are not mind readers. They won't read your mind and know.
That's one like major key as assumption, right? If you are with your partner and you see there's a mood change, they are acting cold towards you. Instead of us to ask, what's the problem? Are you going through something? Is there something you want us to talk about? And then you presume that, oh, so because I didn't call her or I didn't call him, that's why he's acting that way. So now you are assuming that might not be the truth, So I think that one, we need to communicate, and we also need to know how to communicate, and then not to assume. So like if the person looks some way, just ask, what is it? Because some people, like for me, it's hard most of the time to confront somebody, right?
Yeah.
But if the person is able to ask, like, what is it? You want to talk about it? And then I feel like, okay, now they are going to give me the ears to listen to me, so let me bring it up. So these are things I think we need to be proactive.
Yeah. I'm glad you think
like
the
we
word.
need to
I
be
like
proactive. You know the person, you've been talking to them. If you call every day and they are happy, bubbly all the time, and tomorrow you call and they are quiet, like you should know there's something wrong with them. Yeah, so like don't just presume, oh well, maybe she's tired from work, or maybe he's this, or maybe he's because I didn't call him. And being proactive also entails like doing things that will make your partner feel secure. So like there are people that have like good structured communication. Let's say every day you talk at 8 p.m. You talk at 9 p.m. right? And then something can change. It's 9 p.m. and your partner hasn't called you. Instead of you to like pick up the phone and call the person, you are there till like 9:30 when they call and say, hey, I knew you were going to call and ask why you haven't heard from me. But if you had called earlier, it would have given them that assurance. Like these are things the man was speaking about, and I really enjoyed his content. He said, be proactive. If you know your partner is the type that needs reassurance, or feels some insecurity, or feels like you are not interested, or you are not so much committed, you should do things that will make them feel secure, feel safe, feel that they are part of your life. Like you want them, you are doing this thing with them, like you are on this journey with them. Don't just sit down, relax, and wait for them to happen. And then when they do things, and then you dance, hey, I knew it. I knew you were going to have I knew you were going to ask who I was talking to. When you ended the call, you should have explained to him, oh, this was my friend, like we were talking about this and this and this and this. You don't wait for him to ask and then say that, hey, I knew you were going to ask who I was talking to.
I think that brings me to the point of one of the values that is important to me in relationship, and it's called transparency. So there's honesty and there's transparency. Honesty is being honest when you're asked, like you give the truth when you're asked. But transparency is giving information without being asked. Like you're keeping everything plain. So for this example, like, oh, somebody called you, the person doesn't know who called you. Maybe they have some insecurity. Like, we all have insecurities, like from past relationships, from the way we grew up, blah, 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 all that stuff. So you want to make sure that the person feels safe. And in feeling safe, you want to be transparent in communication, in things that are happening around. Let the person understand and know. And the person also has to be in a place where, like, they believe you and they trust what you're saying. Because some people, you still be transparent with them, but because you don't understand it, they don't take it. And so Dennis is saying they should learn to speak out. I guess he's talking about men. Not everybody. Okay, and he also says they should learn to speak out. Why can't she tell us what is wrong with her? Okay, so there are some people, right? There are some people, not everybody comes from a background where they are expressive. It will take people time. And you have to be gracious and you have to pull them out little by little. Not everybody is as expressive as Esther or as Yasmin. And even with Yasmin, she still doesn't like confrontation. Me, if something, even with her, when she goes cold or she goes quiet, I go to her, what's wrong with you? What's going on? Did I do something? Is something happening? Did somebody say something to you? That's the kind of person I am. So everybody comes from a different background where not everybody is like expressive with how they feel. Like, that's why it's important that you talk about these things before you even get into the relationship, or even throughout the course of the relationship. You're still communicating about how to communicate problems in the relationship or things that may be going wrong that each person may not be happy with. So, like, it's not everybody that's there. Like, with the expressions and the communication.
See, and even with this, right, sometimes people stop addressing issues because probably the first time they tried to bring up an issue, they were just shut off.
Yep, that's a good point.
Maybe she was hurt the other time. She tried to bring it up, and he's like, "Whoa, you like complaining." Next time she's hurt, she can bring it up. So what will happen now is that she's going to bottle up everything in her, and then she's going to be.
And then she was. That's what. And the podcast I was listening to. So I was listening to this man called Simon. No, it's not Simon. It's Lewis, and he's like a life coach. Blah blah blah. Like, I feel like he's a man that most men should listen to. Like men who are trying to heal and men who are trying to leave like that broken space and be able to be healthy. Have healthy relationships. I think he's one man that, like, if you're out there, you're a man and you're looking for somebody to inspire you in your healing process or in your healing journey, to lead you to have like a healthy relationship, I think he's somebody to listen to. And it was on this podcast called Diary of a CEO. So it's on YouTube. It's this like mixed race guy that hosts that show, and he had like this man on the show, and then he was talking about like these things, especially the way we react is built out of resentment. So resentment will make us like reactive to everything, and we become like aggressive. Even if it's passive aggression usually stems from resentment, and resentment stems from putting things in you that you should be speaking about, things that are happening that you should be talking about, and like processing and talking through with this person that you're with and you're not saying it. It builds resentment, then it builds reactivity. Right? So this is where it all starts from, and then there's a bigger issue of, now the bigger umbrella is peace, but within that peaceful issue that we are talking about, there are all these components that needs to be addressed, or else you will never have that peaceful relationship or that peaceful person that you are looking for.
Okay. Somebody said, Ohenia finally said, I think for men, peace can be condensed to respect. Yes, I agree with you, right? But I think
it's
both
mutual
men
respect.
and women need respect.
Yeah,
both men and
respect.
women need love.
Yep.
See, this is where the problem is. If they say a woman should respect the man and the man should love the woman, then sometimes the men think the women do not deserve respect. Right.
But I think within the love is respect.
Yeah, like they are.
Because if you don't respect somebody, how do you even love them?
So that statement, we need to like rephrase it. Both men and women need love and respect. If I respect you, I'll talk to you in a polite way. I respect you as a human being. Whether you are a man or a woman, I respect you as a human being. So don't treat me like this because you think you are a man and I am a woman. And I'm not going to treat you like this because I think you are a man and that you should be strong enough to be able to stand anything I throw at you. That shouldn't be what I'm supposed to do, right? So in talking about this, being proactive, communicating, addressing issues, not confronting or attacking people, that's how we can ensure peace. It's not like there won't be conflict. And I think that most of the time, when men are describing peaceful women, if you dress a certain type of way, they think you are not peaceful. If you are assertive, if you are expressive, they think you are not peaceful. But these are different things. Somebody can dress covered head to toe, and they have no respect in their heart. They don't
consideration, no compassion, no empathy.
Feelings. They talk anyhow, So I think sometimes we twist things around. We do like misplaced priorities, misplaced observations or conclusions, and these are all things we need to work on.
I feel like peace has to be redefined. And the thing about this peace thing, a lot of men that say they want peace, when they see peace walking by, they don't know what it is. If you ask them to define that peace that they are talking about, they will not know. They will not recognize peace. If peace entered the room right now, they will not recognize peace. That's the truth. And this respecting that they talk about, peace can be condensed to respect. Okay, we understand respect. But what does respect mean to you as an individual? If we asked you, Kwesi, Kwejo, Kwabena, Yao, Paul, Larry, whatever, we say define respect. What does respect means to you?
Okay,
let's give
it to the men. Let's use the next 5 minutes. Let's talk about respect. Men, what do you mean when you say you want a woman that respects you? Like, we want to settle this issue.
Because me, I feel like it's the respect. Because in certain situations or certain types of relationships, it's like, oh, when you do something and it's wrong, and I'm coming to you and I'm saying, oh, this is what you did that I didn't like, then Esther is disrespectful.
That's the problem. And
like, that's what I've gotten. That's why I'm like, respect to know that they are saying. They don't even know if respect walked into the room. They don't know who that respect is. Or if peace walked into the room, they won't even recognize it. First of all, they themselves are not as peace. Second of all, they don't even respect their own selves. But they want somebody to come and then give them that thing that they do not have to even give. Like, I find it very ridiculous.
Yeah, like that's why I'm asking. We are not men. You are men. When you say you need respect from women, what exactly do you mean? I've asked a couple of people, right? And they tend to lean more towards submission. When they say they want a woman that respects them, it's like, when I'm talking as the man, don't talk. When I do something that hurts you, like, don't come to me saying, just as you said, what you did was wrong. Like, they always want to be praised. I think, like in those lines, they always want to be praised. And when you try to let them know that they are wrong, first of all, they think they cannot do anything
wrong. And that's problematic.
That's the problem. If you admitted that you were a human being, I know I am a human being. I have errors. I make mistakes. Sometimes my utterances don't come out well. Sometimes my emotions influence the way I say things. Maybe my anger or like my childhood trauma, the broken heart I got from all the relationships, all affects the way I talk. If somebody comes to me and says, what you said, I didn't like it, I need to accept it and admit that I am human. I make mistakes. I shouldn't be acting all perfect.
Yeah.
I
do
like
no wrong.
The way I am, I don't do anything wrong. Or if I'm doing something and it's not clear to the person, I should be able to explain like, this is what I intend to do. Especially in a relationship or in a marriage where you, the man, is carrying the family. So if you are taking us somewhere and you are letting me confused, I need to come to you for clarity, But sometimes when you go asking questions, it's like, why? You think I don't know what I'm doing? You think you are wiser? You think
I guess that comes, I feel like those things come from insecurities. If you, first of all, you chose this person to live, I feel like, okay, let me take it again. I think I'm going ahead of myself. When we are choosing a partner, I'm thinking that you're choosing this person to be, you set a partner to do life with.
Together.
So if the person sees something that you're doing or you have a plan, so they can't input, or you don't see them as wise enough. So that means you chose a dumb person on purpose to do life with. Like, those are the questions you should be asking yourself if you're going to treat somebody that way. You choose the person hopefully based on the fact that you are trying to do life together. This person is wise, this person is intelligent, smart, whatever, hardworking, all the attributes. And now there's an issue on board. and there's a place we both want to get to, let's assume, and you've made the points, you've made the plan, and so this person can see something and say, okay, since we are going together and I'm also going to be on this journey with you and I'm also going to be contributing to this journey, this is what I also think. So once they think like that, they do not, they believe, I'm guessing that they believe in you, that's why they agree to marry you. It has nothing to do with them not believing in you or not thinking you're a man. And I always say, see, nobody, if you agree to do something with a woman, does it make you less of a man? Or now you're walking in town and they are saying, Kojo is less of a man because he listened to his wife. Or Kojo is half of a man because he listened to his wife. I don't understand.
No, I think that sometimes, right, for those that do not have like that knowledge, they think that in that case, the woman will be controlling them. And that's what most of them want to avoid. If the idea was not coming from him, and it's coming from the woman, sometimes see they will even agree to what you are saying. They will do it eventually, but
at that point
they will let you know that what you are saying is good, or they want it, or they are going to like incorporate it. They will just okay, I'll think about it, and then later, like we need to outgrow from, like, you need to be vulnerable. So if you, that's what she says all the time, if you can't be vulnerable with your partner, like
what's the point? I know there's no point.
Being vulnerable with?
Who else are you being vulnerable with?
Like,
that's true.
If you can make your husband know that, oh wow, this idea is brilliant, it will help us. Or if you can make your wife know that, oh wow, I'm proud of you, this is a good idea, this will help us, help our family in the next 5 years. Like, it won't make you less of a man, it will make you less of a woman. Even in friendship, sometimes she does something, I'm like, oh wow, this is brilliant. I do something, she's like, okay, this is brilliant. It's like, it doesn't take away your beauty, your account.
It doesn't make you less of Yasmin or less of Esther or less of Kojo or less of Kweku. It just shows what a broad-minded person you are, or like a strong person you are, or like a supportive and encouraging partner that you are. Like, it takes away from the relationship. Relationships are supposed to come, you are supposed to come together with somebody to build something bigger than you, because that's something, like, there are certain things you cannot do alone. Having somebody by your side, having somebody push you, having somebody encourage you, helps you get there faster, right? But now you're putting the person down here, and I feel like I said, the root cause of this thing is due to insecurity, self-worth issues, because you've been used to people in the past telling you you're not good enough or questioning everything you've done. So now that you have a pattern that is like, oh, okay, I think maybe this, in your head, you are filtering it as this person is questioning your intelligence. It has nothing, sometimes it has nothing to do with anything, but because in the past, that's what, you've not healed from that trauma, you've not healed from those past wounds, you will continue to filter everything that everybody says, even if it's for your own good, you continue to filter it through that filter of past wounds, of things that you still need to heal from. And that's when the issue of peace comes in.
And I think that, to add to what you just said, right, a lot of people during the relationship stage don't build trust. And this is what I mean. You met somebody, whether you've known them for how long or whatever, the moment you start a relationship with them, you don't automatically end their trust. You have to build it. Both of you should have to build it with honesty, transparency, as you said, right? So if you want to do life with somebody and you are not transparent, come on phone, you can't even touch their phone. You can't get into their phone. You don't know who they are talking to. When they get a call, they go to their bathroom and they come out. You can't question who they are talking to. When they go out, they just come home anytime they want. They don't call you, and this is what you ask for, and they think you are not peaceful. If you want to be with somebody, you are communicating with them. Hey, good morning. How are you? I'm off to work. I just got here. Oh, how is lunch? How is the day going?
You are making them a part of your life.
You know, incorporate, because most of them have like agenda. They think once they are transparent with you and they are accountable to you, now you are going to monitor their actions. Because if he's telling you he's in the office and you know at this time he comes home, he calls me at 6 p.m., both of you go out and all that. When they want to sneak to the other person, it will be hard for them to communicate. So like, they cut it right from the beginning. And that's why you say there's no peace, because the people that have been married for like so many years, when you ask them and you get close to them, you see how they are. Like, hey, I'm going here. When they get there, they call. I just got here. I'm on my way back. What are you doing? I'm going grocery shopping. You know, so like if there's transparency and you've built trust enough, I think like peace will just come.
It's work. You have to put in the work. And the man I was talking about, Lewis, he said, you can't buy peace. It's not something that you go and buy a woman that's peaceful and then all of a sudden you yourself have peace. You have to create it. And in creating something, you have to put things together. You have to work. When scientists are creating something, or software developers are developing an app, or they are creating something new. Even when God was creating us, didn't you go and look for clay, look for this, do this, and put it together? Yeah. It's work. It requires work. It doesn't come by virtue of you being with this type of woman or this type of man. It's work that you have to put in. And like you said, it includes being transparent, being honest, being accountable, being vulnerable. Yeah. Like, and we are not saying this to say, oh yeah, you have to run everything by the person, every little thing you are doing, you have to run. It's the intention behind doing it. It's to create safety. If you are thinking about it that way, then it wouldn't be hard. Yeah. Like, you love this person, you always want them to feel reassured, and you always want to make them feel safe. And one of the things that you make them feel safe is involving them in your life. Keep the communication doors open. So like, it's not, I don't think it's rocket science, but Max Asante says respect goes both ways. Listening and considering each other's views is enough respect. Okay. The way and tone you talk to your partner is respect. Good. Showing appreciation for whatever your partner does for you is respect. I think this is the most elaborate definition of respect I've heard from any man. Because you ask, like, all the times that I've been called disrespectful in a certain relationship is because maybe something happened and I'm like, oh, okay, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. This is what I feel. And they're like, yeah, you're saying this, so like, it means you're disrespectful. So thank you, Max, for your submission. I think it's, I love it. I like everything that you've said in it. It's accurate, like, and it goes both ways. Yes, definitely.
Considering each other's views, right? I've come to learn that sometimes both of you are right. It's not all the time that one is wrong and one is right. Sometimes both of you are right. It's just hard that one has to compromise. I think that's where the problem is. So I was listening to the man and he was saying that the woman was hurt and the man wanted like a romantic time together. So to the woman, the issue has to be addressed first. You know how like women are, we start mentally when you put her in a good mood and then her body can be responsive and all that. So to the woman, it's like, let's talk about this thing you did to me first before this can go on, right? But to the man, it's like, if we talk about it and you confront me, like, you've turned off their feelings.
I don't really like the word confront. I don't think it's confront. Like, I like, for example, I don't like to say we are having an argument. It's not an argument. We are having a discussion.
No, I think it's how you manage it.
Like, I feel
that makes it go from a talk to discussion to argument.
No, I feel like once you start with the word, that's what I'm saying. Once you start with those words, like it's confrontational, then automatically, like, I see our bodies do certain things with us. Like, once we hear certain words, like, for example, trigger words, it sends us back to that feeling of when we had that experience in the past. So sometimes when you mention certain words, that's why I say, when you talk to say to somebody, oh, we have to talk. In the past, somebody said we had to talk and it ended up in premium tears. So, like, when you say we have to talk, now it's a trigger point for them. So, like, me, I wouldn't say, oh, like, somebody's being confrontational. Because once you hear the word confrontation, like, oh my God. Or once you hear the word argument, like you're arguing, then it's like, oh my God, like, oh, war, the war has begun. But it's not supposed to be a war, it's supposed to be a talk. So, let's have a discussion on this issue.
So, like he said, to the man, the discussion will turn off the feelings. But the lady also needs the discussion to prepare the mind to feel safe and secure before the body can respond. So at this point, both of them are right. Like, I'm not going to say the woman is wrong or the man is wrong. Both of them are right. But the issue now is who is going to compromise. Will the woman let go of the discussion and still prepare her body for it? Or will the man be okay with the conversation and then go back to resetting the body. So,
but
like,
I feel like, yeah, like you said, compromise. Okay, so if I know, like, if we are in a situation like that, if I know that after whatever we are going to have a discussion, then there's not a problem. And I feel like that's where the issue comes in, because the man is not communicating that. Because when things happen, the man is not communicating. Oh, I'm going to have this conversation with you, but let's do
first.
Right. So I know that's what I'm saying. So if the person knows that at that moment I can let it go, let's do it, because I know that after this we are going to talk about. But the problem comes in when you've not given me any assurance that we are going to talk about this. That's not happening.
Or maybe in the past it's happened before. Like when she tried to bring it up, he was like, "Be patient and we'll talk about it." And then everything happens and you don't talk about it. So now if you tell her to wait and talk about it, she's not going to wait.
So yeah, it's a lot of communication, and not all communication is communication.
Oh yeah.
And not some communication is also like, oh, body language, tone, like he said. Even like the way you are reacting to things, the way you are saying, like they are talking to you and you are rolling your eyes.
Yeah, that's.
And do you know, so I was listening to another podcast and they said there's this man, I don't know if he's a therapist or a doctor, like they said once you walk into his office, he can tell if your marriage is going to last or not. And he says one of the signs is when like the issue comes before him and you're discussing and one partner is like rolling their eyes all the time. Like that shows resentment. It's like, oh no, what
you want to do? Okay, see you. Kofi Ameya, Marvin, Branko, Bridget. Hi, Bridget.
Hello.
Those on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. How is the conversation going so far? Are you liking it? Do you have any submissions? We've been talking about relationships, peaceful relationships. Who do you call a peaceful partner? What do men mean when they say all they need from a woman is peace? What entails in this peace? And do we call people non-peaceful because we are giving them the bare minimum and they are holding us accountable? Because most of the time, that's what's happening. They won't call you. They don't reply to your text. They are not emotionally available. They are gaslighting you. They are blaming you all the time, calling you crazy.
Or needy or clingy.
Or needy or clingy or too dramatic, too emotional, too sensitive. But when you bring up conversations around these things, they are not ready for it. They don't want to do anything that will build trust for the relationship. So at that point, when you start to react, they are starting to call you dramatic. They are calling you non-peaceful. But the truth is, nobody on this earth, unless they are in for something from you, your money or something, that you are acting anyhow you want and they are quiet. Like, no sane human being will do that. You are hurting their feelings. You are not like letting them feel loved, appreciated, valued, respected, and then they are going to be quiet. It doesn't work that way.
And I feel like, and this is where it comes to the point where men are like, oh, the women are in for the money these days. Like, yeah, why wouldn't I go for the money when I know love is not assured? You are not going to give me that love, that emotional connection, that emotional need is not going to be met. So what will I rather do? Will I rather be in a relationship where, well, one, my financial needs are not getting taken care of. My emotional needs are neither getting taken care of. And sometimes even the physical needs or the sexual needs are not even being taken care of. And there's money. I would take the money, honey. I would take the money. Because there's no... See, there's no point. Like, and I feel like that's where like a lot of women have come to. Because they know they've been in the past. They try to love. They try to be in a relationship and be all loving and be all emotionally available and provide the needs of... emotional needs of these people, and then they get nothing back. So what would they now do? Okay, let's resort to the one that is guaranteed. Let's resort to the one that's guaranteed. The money. At least the money would do things that is like evidence. Oh, okay, I bought a couch. Oh, okay, I went to do my nails. Oh, okay, I paid my fees. Yes. That's what, and I was talking to somebody this weekend. I was like, see, most of the men that are out there complaining about how women are these days, you are the ones doing it to yourself. You are the one doing it to yourself, because when we come to you and we are honest and we are then times that we are good girls in quotes, and we want to be everything to you and we are being there, we are emotionally available, we are this, we are that, you don't like it. You do not like it. So now, okay, I know I'm not going to get the love. I'm not going to get my emotional needs met. So what is it? Now I want to get my financial needs met. And
I think like most of the time, right? And I'll say this for women because I'm a woman. Most of the time, the women go in with hopes that even though they are seeing the red flags, so like this guy is not straight, he's not committed, the communication is not going well and all that, but let me just give him benefit of the doubt. So they enter the relationship with hopes, and then it goes on as it progresses. She's seeing there's no change. He's not going to change anytime soon. So what else would she do? She would just go in for the money and enjoy, because at that point, honestly, you the guy, you are not emotionally available. You are not doing anything. You are not giving her any reassurance. You don't assure her of any like future plans. You don't add her in your plans. You've not spoken about marriage, anything like substantial. So like, what else do you want her to? That's why I find this question annoying. Like, what do you bring to the table? Like, table, babe.
Table, babe. I'm dead.
And Dr. Zida on TikTok, she made a video this week that once she gets in a relationship with you, she's no more independent. And I understood her, because if you are independent, you are the one doing everything. Now you are in a relationship and presuming that you made the right choice. I'm not saying like any other basa relationship. The conscious ones that you know, I am selecting this person, or like I am pursuing this person because I see her value. I see how she carries herself and I want to be with her. So now she's fulfilling your emotional needs, physical needs. She's cooking for you. She's doing everything for you. How then do you still expect her to be independent and to pay everything, still pay her bills? You are not taking her out. You are not taking her on vacation. You are not buying her any gifts, no flowers, nothing. So tell me, what's the point of being in the
But then they turn around when you even become, they want you to still be independent in the relationship. Now they turn around and say you are being masculine.
See, so like,
what do you want us to
do? Way around.
And I also wanted to make another point that I thought we were forgetting. Like the choices in the women that we make. Okay, some people will be like, oh, this person dresses this way, or this person looks like this. Oh, me, I have 3 piercings. Okay, so maybe I'm not peaceful. It's the one that has 1 piercing that is peaceful. Okay. The person during the talking stage, they've shown you that they don't know how to talk. Their tone, everything is not going well. But because she's has only 1 piercing, yeah, she's peaceful. Okay. And then there are also other people that the last time we had a conversation, we were like, this person has fought with everybody in the neighborhood. Nobody talks to them. Even their parents self has a problem with them. But that's the one that is peaceful for you. Then you marry them and then you turn around and you complain about how this person is not peaceful.
No. Yeah.
What were you expecting? Okay.
See, talking about dressing, right? There was this video of this pastor. He didn't mention the lady's name, but we all know who he was talking about. That Proverbs 31 describes a woman that says that puts on clothes of a harlot or so, and that you can break all the records in the world, but if you dress a certain type of way, you are a demon. Like, how can you, somebody that calls himself a man of God, is calling somebody a demon because she dresses a certain type of way? And this is what we keep talking about in this house all the time, that most of the times, some of the men cannot put women in, like, they think women cannot be 2 things. When you dress like this, they think you don't have no sense. There's nothing. Like you know.
Yeah, just a dummy. Yeah, just a dummy walking around.
Because in their mind, the intelligent women
should look a certain way.
Yes,
and behave a certain way.
And like the women without vision and aim should look a certain way. Because when she started with the project, we all saw her on social media. Everybody was praising her and all that. But right after the program, when they started seeing her videos, how she's having fun, how she's living her like serious life,
poverty mentality. It is poverty mentality that will make people feel like that. Me, I don't
like, because she has the body, she dresses like. So now you think she's a demon? Like, you are the demon.
If you have the body and you are a woman, so now you can't wear what you feel like wearing again. No, so because you have bomb and this, you should wear a canopy.
I I don't know.
Parachute.
I don't know what perception
Oh, okay.
I see, and that's what I said earlier. They expect when you get to that level, they have their own description, like how they expect
you
you
should
to
look and behave.
Like they were expecting her to be in some mobile place, some small house, and say, it's God. God has now shown her mercy. But to call this person that has achieved this a demon, do you know what it takes to get to this stage? Like the mental fortitude, the strength. Satan doesn't give this kind of blessing. Satan doesn't give this kind of blessing. So like, how can this person be a demon and do this? So we need to mind how we talk. We need to also be open-minded. Don't think, and we've had this thing, like even in church when
people look at us
when we get there, people look at us a certain way. Maybe because like the other time I wore my kente dress, it was like cut off here. Off shoulder. My shoulder was showing, my chest, not my body, but like my upper part here was showing. Like there was this particular woman that looked at me like this, and there's somebody that has come to us and said, the way you people dress, I hope you are respectful. I'm like, what the heck?
What does dressing have to see? That's the point you made. Like men see a certain type of women looking a certain type of women, they think, oh, these are the respectful ones, or these will be the peaceful ones, and then they see certain type of women. This woman has not shown you anything. They've not disrespected you in any way. They've not been argumentative in any way. But because of the way they may look, then that automatically means that they are not peaceful women. Or hey, where the obehaging? Oh, where the send our address here?
Oh, boy, where the about where the make sure send our address now. Oh, yes, submissive.
When they've never had a conversation with you, do not know how your mind works, you don't know your thought process, nothing, do not know anything about you, but then they are able to judge you
based on how you dress.
And so because of you, I should still be living in poverty and acting like I'm living in poverty. No, I'm not going to act like I'm living in poverty. I'm not living in... God has blessed me, and I have to show the world that God has blessed me with a job. I'm able to feed myself. I have a roof over my head. That's enough blessing, okay? Yes, it's not because of somebody's opinion that I won't look nice. I will dress. God has blessed me. What should I now do? Wear canopy or parachutes?
Like, these are conversations people are not ready to have. You don't expect people to behave how you want them to behave. Let people be themselves. It's up to you if you want to get close to them or not, if you want to talk to them or not. But what we are saying is don't look at people, their appearance, and conclude that they are like this. When you've not met them, you've not spoken to them, you've not like had any conversations with them, but because they like to dress. Me, these days, I'm claiming luxury for myself. I'm claiming soft life. See, I've suffered enough. When I was growing up, me and my mother, we suffered too much. I'm done with it. You know,
it's over.
Like, it's over. Now I'm telling the universe, I'm telling God that give me the good things. Give me the flashy things. God bless me. Give me a job that when I work, I can enjoy the fruits of my labor. When it's weekend, when it's my birthday, when it's the end of the year, Lord, give me the capability, give me the money. Let me travel to experience new places, to meet new people, to like go on good vacations and all that. So if you think that this will make me proud and you won't talk to me because of that, like
no, you are not peaceful. How can you be peaceful? Hey,
like I don't have a problem.
You are not respectful. You are not peaceful.
Like this is not hurting anybody. It's me, my life. I'm praying that God let me enjoy this life because some will say about heaven, but maybe they say heaven. To say you because somebody said there's no internet in heaven. But see, before I get to the heaven, let me enjoy this one first. If I go and there's like a good thing there, I will also enjoy it. We need to come out of that mentality, that suffering, you know, like most of the times when they talk to a woman and the woman is not steering towards suffering love, they think she's not
you're not peaceful.
A wife material.
You are not peaceful.
But we need to come out of that mentality, that struggle. When you wake up every day, tell yourself, I am done with struggle. I am done with poverty. I am done with, like, call good things for yourself. And you see it will manifest in your life. So don't go looking for the women that are some kind of way, they won't dress, they won't take care of their body, they are anyhow, and you think they are peaceful. Get close to them. A lot of these people are so toxic. And that's my problem with most of these religious people. You see them, yeah. You get close to them, they are not even talking to their parents. They are bitter, they have problems with everybody. They don't respect their parents because their parents were not there for them in their lives. Now they are bitter, they are waiting for that. Somebody told me he's waiting for the dad to die so that he'll go and bury him. You can imagine. So you see this as
and you think, no, first of all, that shows that the person is not even at peace with themselves. Inside, they have things that they are brooding over. Maybe not brooding over actively, but it's there somewhere. Like, let's not deceive ourselves that things that may have happened in our lives in some way, at some point where that it made us feel a certain way, just went away by some magic. No. Don't lie to you. It is there somewhere, and it keeps getting triggered. And that's why I say that when you're in a relationship and somebody does something a certain way and it makes you feel a certain type of way, it is not the person that has done it to you. They are just a trigger point. So the question you should be asking yourself is, why do I still, why am I feeling this way about this issue? Is there something there that I need to process? Is there something there that I need to reflect on and work on? And that's the source of the peace in you, first of all. Because if these things are still there, you are filled with a lot of resentment, anger, bitterness towards your parents, towards your caregivers when you're growing up, towards your teachers, your friends that weren't there for you, like so many things, towards past relationships that you haven't processed and let go. And so those wounds are still there. It's become a scar, right? So once somebody comes and scratches that scar, it opens up again, and you think, oh, it's Yasmin that's the problem, or it's Esther that's the problem. Esther is just triggering. Yasmin is just triggering. The real problem lies in you, and that is the real reason why you are always reactive to everything. You are filled with resentment, my brother. You are filled with resentment. That is the real problem. The resentment, the anger, the pain that you've not dealt with. That is the real problem. Not the woman that is triggering you. Yes, women, we are not saying you to go and just be behaving anyhow and saying anything. That's I
think one problem with women that we also need to talk about, I think it's a good and bad thing. So because we pay so much attention to details, sometimes it makes us petty, right? So like, okay, I think that the bed has to be laid before you sleep on. The kitchen has to look this type of way. And maybe the man is also like busy. He doesn't mind sleeping on the bed that's not laid. So now if the man comes to sleep on the bed that's not laid, that's a problem. If he does something in a way that you wouldn't do it, that's also a problem. So all this comes down to talking about it, having a conversation about it. Maybe you do your things this way. He doesn't do his things this way. Just talk about it, and then there will be peace in the house. But K3 Christy says that I'm late. Yeah, we're talking about peace, peaceful relationships, what makes a partner peaceful and all that. And we're saying that we need to be proactive and communicate. By being proactive, you need to build trust. Like, it's something you have to do when you wake up, just as you are dressing to go to work. And if you're in a relationship with somebody, make a conscious effort to build trust and transparency. Communicate your movements. This is what I'm doing. This is where can we go out? Can we talk? If you notice a change in their mood, bring it up. Is there anything bothering you? Is there anything you want us to talk about? Like, don't confront them, but confront the issues. Don't attack them, but attack the issue and talk about the issue. Like, instead of saying you hurt me, you always do this. Instead of just say I feel this type of way when this happens, you know. And that way you are addressing the issue and you are not attacking the person. And when ladies ask questions, or if you are with a woman that is expressive or assertive, that alone is not a bad thing. She wants to know where both of you are going, where the relationship is going, to make the relationship better. So don't take it as she thinks I'm dumb or I'm stupid, right? If she makes suggestions of good ideas, it's not because you are not man enough. It's just because they want to be a contributor to the relationship success. Exactly. So like, don't feel intimidated. Don't feel insecure about it. Be vulnerable with your partner. Show emotions. Express your emotions. Get them like gifts. It doesn't have to be so expensive, Flowers is $4 at Walmart.
Yes, and I would add to that, and I would say, I said, like for most people or most men that say, oh, I want peace and I want respect. If peace walked into the room, if respect walked into the room, they wouldn't know what it is. And so at this point, I feel like when you're asking for something, define it to yourself, what it means to you. And then so that when you're making your choice in the partner, you know, okay, this is what peace means to me. So this person is this, is that, is that. Okay, it fits into what peace means to me. So it's not now that you're in a relationship and now you realize, oh shoot, like this is not it. Like this ain't it, bro. Like it's not working. This person isn't who I thought they were. Because first of all, you didn't even define what that meant to you. For example, I've defined what love means to me. So if I say I love somebody, I'm measuring myself by that definition. If somebody says they love me, I am measuring them by that definition of love, right? And so when I'm making that choice of a partner, I know, okay, this, that's, and then it fits into what, like, ever I'm looking for that will make the kind of relationship I want thrive. So first of all, what kind of relationship do you want? Second of all, what are the values that you are looking for? And define those values, like what they mean to you. When you're able to define what they mean to you, you'll be able to figure out like what other things you should be looking for in a partner that will make it work. So I think like that's very important. Like a lot of people say all these things because of things they've heard from other people or from conversations with friends. Oh, maybe I want peace. Then they think, oh yeah, peace. Okay, yeah, me too, I want peace. But they don't even know what it means to them. Maybe your friend was saying it with a certain definition in mind, but you are saying it and not even knowing what it means to you. So if you don't know what it means to you, you make the wrong choice in the partner, and then now you are in like a fix when you're finally in the relationship with this person and you're realizing, oh my God, you know. So yeah.
So yes, that's it. Those who just joined, you are late. You are an hour late. Please try and come early next week. And we hope you enjoyed it. Mandela said, thank you guys. Really enjoyed today's episode.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Yeah.
Thank you, Kwesi I, Prosper, Kofi Prempe, those on TikTok, Daddy Red. So we hope you were blessed today. Hey, I'm acting like a pastor.
You were blessed today.
We hope you had a good time today with us. We hope you enjoyed the discussion. Yes, sometimes these things you are saying will not make sense to you, but just keep it in your mind. Like, think about it, analyze it. And this is what I say all the time. No, don't take anything like an absolute truth from anybody, whether they are bishop, archbishop, pastor. Like, whenever somebody talks, listen, analyze it, and then make the final decision for yourself. Because like that's one problem. A lot of people, because it's coming from a pastor, they agree. Because it's coming from a lady that's dressed some type of way, they think there's no sense in it. That's our problem.
Yes, and yes, my fun facts for today. So I've been watching a podcast, like I said, the title is Diary of a CEO. He brings like different people on, and usually they're like therapists, psychologists, like usually I listen to like the psychologists and therapists and life coaches that come on the show. And this week, podcast that I listened to was by Lewis House or something. It spells Howes. I don't know if I was butchering the name or not. And he did talk about peace. He talked about the number one killer of a relationship. And I said if you are a man out there and you want to begin your healing process, right? And I say this all the time, like it's the root of all our relationship issues. And even the way we show up in life is based on things that may have happened to us in the past. Maybe it was a relationship or how we grew up, the kind of caregivers that we had growing up, it impacted us or impressed certain things upon us. And so that's how we show up in relationships. So he said that the biggest killer of a relationship is emotional dysregulation. Emotional dysregulation is going through your emotions and not knowing how to handle it. So you're angry, you're throwing things about, you're yelling, you're shouting. Yeah, I know, like sometimes it's hard, right? But we should come to a place where we are able to bring calm to ourselves and our body. Emotional regulation also means like being reactive all the time to all situations. So he mentioned an example, like when he came to a realization that was his problem, like he had work to do on himself. Like he was like, it started at 30. That was when he came to that realization. And he said he used to have like fit fights, like when he goes out to even play, it's supposed to be a fun thing, then he's mad, like every little thing he's mad, like the people that are always yelling at people in traffic, insulting them, like what did they do to you? Like every little thing is like you become reactive. And me, for example, that's how I know when something is up with me emotionally. Like when I start, it's like I'm giving it to everybody in my life. Somebody says something, I know that it does not really mean that, but then I start reacting in a way. I go back within myself and I'm like, there's something going on here. Why are you so angry? Why are you taking it out on people? And I do the work by going and apologizing to these people. Like, it's not about you. I am sorry about how I behaved or how I reacted or what I may have said or may not have said. But this is not about you. I don't want you to make it about you or anything that you have done. I am probably going through something, or there's something that I need to process and work on, and that's why I'm filled with like maybe a lot of anger and bitterness right now, and it has nothing to do with you. So he says like for a lot of men, they were never socialized to like regulate their emotions, right? They were never taught how to handle their emotions. First of all, you are not even taught to recognize that there are emotions and it has to be felt, it has to be processed. And so he says that's the number one killer of relationships, like especially coming from the male side. Like they don't have any regulation of their emotions. They react, they are saying this, they are saying like, for the example that you gave, hey, I am the man, I am supposed to do this, oh my God, now you think that I'm not man enough, you think, no, it comes from somewhere. And so if you don't do that work of processing your past wounds, he says that's how all your relationships will be. Every time you will fail at relationships, because those things will keep coming up. It may not come up in the same way, like I've said before. It may come up in different, like every person you meet might trigger a different thing in you. So maybe Ajua didn't trigger that thing in you, but Abna will trigger a different thing in you. If that thing that lies within, that problem that lies within is not worked on, it's not processed. Maybe you were abused as a child. Maybe your parents weren't there for you. Maybe your father wasn't there. Or you witness a lot of abuse in the home. Even just witnessing things like that has a way of affecting our minds and how we show up in relationships. So if you're here and you really, really want to have a healthy relationship, it always starts from looking within us and around us, right? To make like those changes for ourselves. And me, the number one thing that I work on in therapy is emotional regulation. And like and we call it cognitive dysregulation. So like the way I think about things, when things happen to me or when I'm in a certain situation, what my default thoughts goes to is always negative. And so that's what I work on. Like when I go to therapy, like, oh, what's your goal for therapy? Usually I would say like emotional regulation, where I'm able to regulate my emotions to a point where when I'm going through something, it's not like my first thought is, oh my God, the world is against me. Oh my God, maybe I should kill myself and everything will be okay, right? So so that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening to my plenty talk.
Thank you guys. So this is where we end today. Is that sunglasses or moon glasses?
Na glasses glasses.
It's my glasses glasses. Thank you. Have a good week. May the Lord bless everything we do. If you don't have a job, get up, put in the application, work on your resume.
Yeah.
Go on Indeed, apply for. It's hard, Charlie, when you're looking for a job. Like those rejection emails, they get you all the time. Like they will call you, do all these long interviews, you hear from them again. But it's part of the journey. You keep pushing. If you don't succeed, you try again. If you try the DV lottery, you didn't win, wait till October, try it again.
Oh my God, I hate saying that.
Or like just pray. Sometimes, see, let me say this and we'll finish. Sometimes God answers our prayers in different ways, but we are still praying and expecting Him to answer it
in a particular way.
And because it's not happening in that sector or like that style, we think He hasn't answered us. I know what I'm talking about because I've made that mistake before. You are praying and there's an opportunity. Instead of you to grab it and grab the opportunity and run with it. No. You are still there and praying that God give me an opportunity. Like, because you are thinking it has to be like this. Sometimes it won't be like that. God will let you pass through junction B and then go and then come to junction A. Sometimes you won't just start off from junction A. So any good opportunity that comes your way, like make good use of it, grab it, and then run with it.
Yes.
Like, we need to be proactive. And there's no shortcut to, I've told you, I've unsubscribed from the shortcuts group. Like, it's sacrifice, it's hard work. You won't get anything, like, easily. Like, just think about that.
I think I wanted to add something to what you said, like, in pursuing, like, a career and trying to find a job that you really want. And if in the meantime, whilst you're also trying to do that, I feel like for this year, my theme for this year is exploring like my talents, like every talent that I have, or I think, oh, this is something that I would be passionate about, or this is something I could do. That's another way of keeping yourself working and going, so that you're not falling into depression, because depression usually comes when you lose purpose. You feel like, oh, I don't have any purpose anymore, and that's not true. You always have a purpose. There's a reason why you're here. There's something that you can do better than the next person. There's something that you can learn from the next person, or you can impact into the next person. So there's always something. So like, look within yourself, talk to your friends. Like, sometimes the best way of getting feedback on our lives is asking our friends questions like, oh, like, since you've known me, what thing do you think, like, if I did, it would be good? Like, oh, I'm good at, like, and they'll be able to give you some feedback that you can work with. Or you yourself, you're there, you're like, this thing, choir, me, I can do. That's how I started singing in the choir. Like, I went to church and like, this singing that they are singing, I think I can also do it. And then I joined the choir. So like let's also explore like our other talents. It's not always, like you said, it's not always a one-way street to like success or being something in life. Like, there are always other things. So like, explore all your talents, explore everything that's available to you, any skill that you may also be interested in. That's something that you can pick up and like impact other people's lives, or just be in purpose, so that you don't like fall into depression.
Okay, thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Strictly
Good
news this week in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
And we'll be here again next week.
Yes.
2 p.m. Central Time. I think it's 7 p.m. GMT, right? Ghana time. I think it's 8 p.m. UK time. So like, just do the conversion.
From 2 p.m.
From
CT,
2 p.m. Central Time, and then you can adjust to your time as well.
Yes, and that's another news. I'm sorry, but my sister hit 44K on TikTok this week. So, hooray! Congratulations! She puts a lot of work in it, I won't lie. She's gotten me on TikTok now. I've joined TikTok now, and my dear, it's not easy. Hey, it's a lot of work. But yeah, I'm very proud of her. Like, she has a lot of content, so you can follow her on there and just like see what
Premium
she's doing.
HD content on TikTok.
Yes.
The name is Yasmin.sg. S for Sam, G for girl, _ Kindly follow me, okay? God bless all of you.
Yes, thank you. We love you
Thank
all.
you. Bye.
Bye.